Hey YouTube, this is Kentucky Wildcat Fan 78. Now, I know this video is extremely overdue. And I apologize for this, but it's been crazy with work and everything. But here's my review of Hersey Park in Hersey, Pennsylvania. Now, please note this, some of the things I'm going to say are going to vary depending on your experience and everything. Now, where I'm from, to get to Hersey, Pennsylvania itself takes around 14 hours. Because we had to travel it was 3 friends and we had to travel from here to Sandusky, Ohio to pick up somebody and go from Sandusky to Hersey's. Now, the park itself it's a great park. It has lots of coasters, it has lots of rides, and it's an overall great park. But here are some things that you need to be aware of. First, the parking. Now, parking does seem weird with it because you go by where I think it's ice hockey team plays. It's called the Giant Center. I think it's hockey. Anyway, you go by that just to get to the park. Now, I know that seems weird, and that's just the way they have that area designed. It's $15 to $25 to park, depending on what you want. If you want just regular parking or preferred parking. Basically, preferred parking means you're closer to the gate. It's nothing special. Now, tickets will vary in pricing. Depending on what time of year you go. Now, for an additional $15 a day, you can add a meal deal on to it, which gives you a lunch or dinner, depending on what time you eat, a souvenir mug, and that's really it. And then depending on your ticket stuff, you may get a ticket for a free game or something. Now, once you enter the front, you will see Skyrush, the Comet, the Great Bear, the Super Dooper Looper, and that's hard to say, and then in the back you'll see the top of Stormrunner. Now, Skyrush is an amazing coaster. If you ever go to that park, you need to ride that. You go up, each row can sit 4 people, but it's not close together like most coasters are. They have 2 literally right above the wheels. Then they will have 2 on the outside. So it's basically like a wing coaster like you will find at Dollywood or Cedar Point or any of those. Basically. Same type concept. And you go up the hill extremely fast. Now, I forget the type of coaster it's called, but you go up really fast, then you will do all of the turns and everything at 75 miles an hour. You do get a lot of airtime too, as well. So, you better hang on. The next one is, it depends on the way you're going, is the Super Dooper Looper, which is an arrow. It's basically like a regular coaster, sort of, just with a loop, and that's really about it. It's nothing really special, except it is kind of weird in one aspect, because instead of coming in where there's brakes, like most coasters have, you have a chain, like for a lift hill, that kind of brings you in, which is kind of weird. The next one is the Great Bear. Now, that's a B&M coaster, and you sit below the track, and so it has the B&M roar, basically. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about it. That's something for you to look up here on YouTube on what you think about it. You also have in the mix Lightning Racer, which is their dueling wooden coaster. So you're either on basically Team Lightning or Team Thunder. It's a good coaster. You also have Wildcat, which is like Lightning Racer, -1 track. Then you have Laugh Track, which is an indoor coaster where you go. It's similar to a Wild Mouse type coaster, sort of, but you spin and you kind of go on more of an angle than you do with Wild Mouses. It's an overall good ride. You also have a Wild Mouse. Then you also have a Vekoma Boomerang. And then you also have what they call Storm Runner. Now, Storm Runner is a launch coaster that's similar to King Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure, or Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. But unlike those two, Storm Runner is much longer. You get a lot of airtime and everything else. It's a really great ride. You also have Fahrenheit, which is, now it may look intimidating, but it's overall not that bad of a ride. It's just the only thing scary about it looking is the lift hill, and that's really about it. Now, it is more than a one-day place to do because there's so much to do. But you can find the time to do it. Now, if you go on a hot day in the summer, you'll want to go to a water park, which is fine. They have a water park which is centered right in the middle of the park, which is around where the Lightning Racer and all them, you can kind of see those around it. It's actually quite confusing. And they have a lot of the standard things like Lazy River, one of those splash play areas, but it's really big. stuff like that, tornado type ride, funnel ride. So it's an okay water park for the size. Um, Food and drinks. They have a lot of the standard things in there. They have some chain restaurants in there. They have Subway. Um, I forgot what the others are. And then they also have Pepsi products. And then a Pepsi Oasis machine. But they have one thing I've never seen before, and that was whoopie pie cakes, which was unique. It Now overall the park it's a great park. It can be confusing at times, but it's still an overall great park.